Crossing borders now to Rwanda, where our correspondent Eugene Nangwe had an exclusive one-on-one interview with the Chief Operations Officer of the Rwanda Development Board, Emmanuel Hategeka, on the Rwanda-Arsenal deal.
Right, on the 23rd of May 2018, news broke out of Rwanda and the Arsenal team signing a deal. Of course, a deal that would see Rwanda gain a lot of mileage as far as visibility is concerned, being the tourism sponsor of the Arsenal team. Of course, we are here now joined by the Chief Operating Officer of the Rwanda Development Board to just shed some light and make sense out of this deal. We have none other than Emmanuel Hategeka. Thank you so much for accepting to speak to us today. Emmanuel, the first thing that many people are still asking themselves is, how did this happen? This news took so many by surprise. The rest of the world is actually still reacting to this. How did this come to be what it is today?
So thank you, Eugene Anangwe. First of all, we shouldn't really be taken by surprise. And we shouldn't look at this partnership in isolation. We need to look at it as part of Rwanda's marketing plan. So it's part of the bigger picture, so to speak. And maybe I can give you a few examples that preceded this for you to get a sense of where we're coming from. So you will remember that Rwanda adopted an open visa policy to the whole world. So every citizen of the world is welcome to visit Rwanda, to come to Rwanda. You will recall that Rwanda has invested heavily in MICE infrastructure.
Yes.
That has actually made us become in the top 3 countries in Africa in terms of hosting and successfully holding international events, conferences, and meetings. You will recall that Rwanda has invested heavily in our national airline, now reaching to 26 destinations, including UK. You will know that we've been investing heavily in our national parks. Populating our national parks with the Akagera National Park now hosting the Big Five. You will recall that we've also been investing heavily in our industrial infrastructure, including the Kigali Special Economic Zone. So signing a partnership with a football club like Arsenal, which is that famous, is part of our marketing plan to create more excitement around Rwanda, to create a new, a new narrative around Rwanda, knowing that in the past Rwanda has been perceived badly because of our history.
The history of the country, yes.
So this should be looked at in that broader picture. And you remember we've just concluded the Rwanda Royal Tour, guided by none other than our head of state, to really project the beauty of Rwanda, to encourage people to visit Rwanda, to come as tourists, to come as investors. So the deal with Arsenal is part of that bigger framework. And it's going to go a long way to bring us more visibility, to bring us more visitors,
right,
to bring us more investors.
Right. We'll take some minutes and talk a bit about that part. But the fact that it was Arsenal, I mean, some have been speculating, could it be because the president himself has publicly said that he is actually an Arsenal fan? Or were there any other reasons? Was there debate on why Arsenal and not Manchester United, not Chelsea or any other Premiership League football club?
Well, Eugene, you might, wonder maybe when you're advertising your product, if you have something to advertise, why don't you choose CNN as opposed to BBC? Why don't you choose this other media as opposed to the other? So Arsenal happens to have come, with the opportunity. We've been negotiating for a while.
So Arsenal came to you?
You can say we met in the middle. We've been also looking for such an opportunity. And we negotiated with Arsenal, and were able to, reach a deal. So nothing about any prior history of our engagement. We have so many fans of Arsenal in this country, in the whole of Africa. So Arsenal enjoys, although it's been suffering a bit in the last few years, but it still enjoys a high level of affinity across Africa.
Right, because you rightly put it on that line that you just ended on. The critics probably of this deal would be saying, but this is a team that most people keep mocking on social media next season, they never do well. Even the president himself made a comment about the performance of the team. How do you tell, or what do you tell such people who feel this way, that why did we go with Arsenal, probably before we move this conversation forward?
Well, to those people, I say that Rwanda has also failed in the past, but Rwanda is not a failure anymore.
Right, powerful. The other part of the why Arsenal is why not Igikundiro, Rayon Sport, any other local club here? Because I've seen also on social media some of them wondering, why not invest in us? Why not invest in our local premiership leagues and football? Why do we take this money out there? What sort of answer would you also be giving these kind of people who have this question?
Well, for our national teams, we already invest in them as part of our national budget. We have a whole ministry in charge of sports and culture, and there is a budget to support our local teams and our sports. And it's not the first time we invest in sports. As you know, the other day we launched the National Cricket Stadium, which is a brand new sport in the country. And we've seen a lot of investment in cycling, which is another, active sport. So we invest as part of our national sports development agenda, and this is another level. If you talk of a club like Arsenal, the Arsenal players, the Arsenal matches are watched by 35 million people every day. And this partnership makes us, the first sleeve partner of Arsenal and the first country to do that. So it's really a whole new level of engagement.
Right. So if we talk about the publicity that this has raised, it has raised both positive and negative publicity. The positive you've definitely talked about, as far as, wow, Rwanda, from nowhere, just going for this. We've seen some citizens of other East African countries bashing their tourism boards for sleeping on such an opportunity, and Rwanda going for it. On the other end, The Sun wrote some articles saying that the fans of Arsenal have actually bashed the deal, criticizing the logo, its quality. On the other hand, on social media, we've seen also some Ugandans claiming that this deal was ours. Rwanda ran away with it. I want to read your thoughts on how Rwanda is dealing with this, both positive and negative publicity coming out of this deal.
Well, you criticize what you have. So if there was nothing to criticize, then we wouldn't be talking about it. So we've got a very good partnership with Arsenal. In our view, it's really good value for our money. And it gives us, good rights in terms of marketing rights, but also football development opportunities. So